Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I took your suggestions from my Discord server and YouTube community posts and made them into Lumber Tycoon 2 items and then submitted them to Defaultio. I really liked how some of the items turned out, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video to figure out what all the items are. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into Roblox Studio. Okay everybody, I have the templates for the items I'll be creating here, and Defaultio has actually sent me some of these templates for me to use just to make his life easier. Anyways, if you want to make an item for the game, simply submit it to me via Discord and I'll look at it, format it, and submit it to Josh if I think it's good enough quality. Remember that I am only the middleman and I have no power about what gets into the actual game or not. All I'm doing is sending things to Josh that you send me, along with sending him these items that I'm making today. There's no guarantee that anything I make today will ever be added into the game. Anyways, we're gonna start off where we left off at the motion detector here, and I actually made this on stream, this model here, and since then I formatted it, but I don't really like how the model looks, and I'll be redesigning it to make it look a little better. So the first major change I'm going to make to this item is just make it smaller. I think it's personally way too big, so I'm gonna shrink it down to a 1x2 logical device, as I think that size is a little more reasonable. Okay, so I've come up with this design so far, and I think it's pretty good. It's a lot better than the old one, although I still think some things are a little off. I feel like the back here needs something else, and I don't really like how I made this output here, so that it's raised above everything else. It feels too much like a laser receiver right now. And just like that, I think we are done with this item. I like how it turned out, I like how it's simple and is a little different than other objects while still not having too much stuff, so it still fits that Lumber Tycoon vibe. Now for how this item actually works, I had my friend Delray script it for me, and as you see on screen, putting an item or yourself in front of it simply gives off an output when you move. So yeah, this is super cool, I really like it, and now it's time to move on to the next item. Now the next item is going to be the shower faucet, another item that I thought of because I thought it would be super cool to have an individual item that you can place in a shower build just to tie everything together. Additionally, I would like it to spit out water when you turn it on, so it has a nice little effect to it that just makes your builds a little more real. So for my template here, I just have a normal light since I'll be using a lot of the same design. Okay, so I'm having some trouble trying to make the shower faucets here where the water comes out, so I think I'm just going to add some decorational dark patches for holes. Okay, so a lot of experimenting later, I think I have a nice base design here. I really like how the shower head turned out with all the little spots, and I think it looks nice in Lumber Tycoon 2 style. Anyways, now it's time to actually make the particles for the faucet here. And, I don't know how to make the particles. Okay, so after a lot of tinkering, I think I finally came up with a design that I like. Of course, the particles here are not final, but I don't really know what else to add with them. And I figured that if Defaultio ever considers adding this stuff, then I think he'll just remake my particles anyways. So I'm just gonna leave them like this for now. Okay, the next item is going to be a very easy one, and that's simply because it's a hanging light. All I'm going to do is take the normal light, flip it upside down, raise it into the air, remove the lampshade, tweak the colors a little bit, create a little union, and just like that, this very simple build is done. Again, it's probably not one of my favorite builds that I'm going to ever do, but I think it does the job, and it's a nice little spotlight for if you have a very tall ceiling. You can place it way up there, or you can place it on the ground or a wall, so that you get the light shimmering over one section of the area. Now for the light itself, I'm going to use a spotlight, as this is basically what this thing is. I'm going to make it so that it has a very big range, probably around 20. But with not such a big angle, so probably down to like 45. That way it will shine down on everything underneath it. So yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do on this. I don't think there's much else I can do to improve the current design, and I don't feel like doing any other design, as I feel like Lumber Tycoon would benefit most from a light such as this. Next up, we also have a very easy design, and this is going to be the stool blueprint. And basically all this is going to be is a stool from Test 2, but in Lumber Tycoon 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is rip the back off of this chair. I'm going to keep it the same size, but I'm going to adjust the frame a little bit so that it has some nice edging to it. Now that we have our initial stool here, it's time to work on the legs. Now in ProJute, the legs are all slightly tilted and very small, so I think what I'm going to do is copy the same 3-leg tilted design, just making the legs a little differently. And just like that, our stool blueprint is finished. And now it is time for the final build, the icebox. Now I have the fridge here because that's what I'm going to be using to model the icebox after. Since basically what an icebox is just a fridge turned on its side and full of ice. So before we take apart the fridge, let's get our parameters set. So the size is 4x6x4 units, and that gives us a bit of space to work with, although the handles here are outside of the initial space. So I don't know if I should keep them out for consistency or put them inside the barrier. I guess I'll figure that out later on. And that's actually going to be it for the icebox. Well, the fridge itself is not a very detailed build in the first place, so I think it makes sense to have the icebox not very detailed either. And the box for the icebox is also going to be pretty small, as I don't think it needs too big of a box. And just like that, those 5 items for Lumber Tycoon 2 have been completed. Now I have submitted them to Defaultio, although I don't expect him to add them or anything. It was never my goal to get anything in game. I just want to have fun by modeling some of your ideas. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see me make another one of these videos, and leave your ideas down below so I can take a look at them and see which ones could be possible candidates. Again, if you want to make the items for yourself, simply submit them to me via Discord and I'll make sure Josh sees them. Anyways, this is going to be it for me. Goodbye.